Hello everyone and welcome to bitparade.co.uk's look at Kholat. Now this, the idea behind having a look at this, firstly it's a decent little horror game. I say little, actually, I think it's relatively long. What we're trying to do is, we do a feature on the website every year where we take a look at indie games that people might have missed. We don't go too obscure. Sometimes we go fairly obscure, but stuff that we wanted to play or stuff that we enjoyed that we played. And so this is one of those games. We're going to try and do a couple more before the end of the year. And this is Kholat. Now it's set in, I think it's a Russian mountain, although it sort of looks. Yeah, I guess it's probably Russian. I was going to say sort of Polish sounding name, but oh no, I don't want to quit. There we go. Let's go to continue. I'm going to try and keep this fairly smooth, but I am playing with the mouse and keyboard, so it may move around a bit quick. So the plot is that some hikers went up this mountain, some students, and they we're at a base camp here, and let's just crouch, shall we? Apparently that's not crouching. So we so these guys, or these students, went up to a mountain, and they eventually found their tent where they set up camp. The tent was torn from the inside out, and they all ran off in bare feet. So something scared them, and they had to get out of there quickly. And yeah, so then they're found. It's like a couple of them were found with scratches all over their arms where they climbed a tree to escape something, and they're not entirely sure what. And so you're then up here exploring, and it doesn't initially seem like a horror game, but it did start to turn into one for me when I was in a very dark area. It sort of, we could probably just go back up and I don't want to spend too long dwelling on this. So one of the reasons why I think this is worth a look at is this is the map. Now it doesn't look like I've done a lot, but I've played a couple of hours. I died a couple of times, but as you can see, there's a whole part to the map, like on the left, where I've not been. The center point is, if I think I go this one here, is I think you start off here. There's like a meteor or something there, and then I sort of went and explored down here. So I probably missed things around on these sorts of areas. So the map system is, now this is where I'm sure I came through here. So this is where I probably want to get back to, because I know they found some bodies around there, and this sort of area here. But we are, I think, we're there. So I'm gonna go this way, and ideally sort of come left, and we'll have a look around. It's entirely possible I'll take a right turn somewhere, who knows. But the way the map system works is, I don't know, it's tempted to say it doesn't. You're kind of just like, the only way you can really tell where you are is if you pick a note up, or you find a campfire or something of interest. Then you can then, oh right, okay, I must be here then, because this is lit up on the map. So if you find a note, just bring up your map and you'll be able to look at where you are. So we could get back to the center point if we really wanted to here, I think, relatively easily. But yeah, so it's not quite a Slender style game where you have to find notes. Oh, I guess you do, but it's not that thing where you find notes and then I'm sure that was crouch before. Oh no, okay, control is crouch. There we go. It's very good looking fire. So it's not a Slender style game where you find notes and the game gets scarier and more. Okay, we don't go down there. More tense, more horrific. The more notes you find, it may turn into that. But so far, it's not been that. I have had a kind of ghost thing. So if I go back down there, you can see it's a staggering looking game. Look at it, it's beautiful. That starts to go really dark, and there was this. You start hearing like a fly or something, like a buzzing, and it certainly looks nice, doesn't it? Got a tornado up there. So I saw some comments on Steam about how this isn't a horror game. I don't see how it can not be. I didn't pick this bit knowing this was going to happen. I just swore I ended the other night and meant to get back to it, record a video yesterday. But so we'll maybe take a left at some point. But let's go and explore this thing, shall we? Let's look at that stuff over there. So press E to bring up
For a very long time, I could not come across any trail. The tracks came and went as if someone was playing with me, as if the victims were moving. And as soon as I was almost sure I had seen something and I would find something new behind the next tree, the trail suddenly went cold. I had no idea what was going on. Finally, I reached a small meadow. There, I found a bound journal, as if someone left it there on purpose. The journal belonged to the members of the expedition. They wrote down their thoughts and observations. Note, there were also some obscure entries, probably taken down in the dark, concerning the situation they were in. This could shed some new light on the case. I am attaching the journal to this report. We have to control the conduct of the investigation, and at a certain point stop the information flow. The facts concerning the incident cannot be made public in any way, shape or form.
So, I'm willing to assume that is one of the students, but it may not be. But yeah, like it may be that this was the first place I was supposed to come, because what he described there is what happened to me. Is I started following some tracks and like footsteps, like burning footsteps, and then they just disappeared. Oh yeah, if I bring up the map now, you can see I found this. So there's a note there as well, which means there's a turn I could have gone that I completely missed. I'm not entirely sure where that was. So we can maybe go and explore it. Well, we can't go that way, so we'll have to go and explore it. So there is if we're talking graphics, I don't know if it's going to do it, maybe not, but it was doing something where it was like fusing the trees were like phasing out. Right, so I need to work out, is it here? Nope. So it's got to be this way, right? So you can sprint. It's not necessarily something you particularly want to do, right? So we can't go this way, but there must be a path. There we go. He says. Nope. So there's definitely a path, because it shows it on the map. Right, bring the map up. So we go this way, and there's a... So I can't get over this, so there must be a route through. Okay, so clearly isn't that. There isn't a jump button. We can't go this way. Can't go this way, we'll fall to a death. Don't think we can get up there. So as far as I know, there's don't think we can get there. The flashlight doesn't run out, but it did start flickering for me when I got to a particular area. Like I say, it's, I think, deliberately dark. Let's look how cold this looks. So yeah, let's see that over Right, so let's try this way. I'm fairly sure we'll fall to our deaths if I try and cross this bridge, but let's give it a go. Alright, maybe not. Cool. So I'm tempted to have a look this way just to see what's there. So it's like I say, some of the comments on Steam were how this wasn't a horror game, and I can only assume maybe they hadn't played much of it, because it does become a horror game, very definitely. See how that tree phased in then? Yeah, right, so... Okay, so that would drop us down, so it's basically a way back to camp. A one-way trip, I guess. So yeah, you can't sprint forever, and if you're in heavy snow, not a good idea to sprint because you'll get very tired. I haven't had that as an issue so far. But yeah, I kind of want to show a bit more happening, because at the minute you've seen something happen, which looked kind of deliberate, but okay. So I think we're going to a new area here, because the tone shifted a bit, hasn't it? So, I've not got the sound up very high, so I can't hear this, so I'll read this to you. So it says, Guard's Confessions. 72-year-old Anna N., after years of silence, decided to talk about events from her past. She told us, I'm terminally ill and have nothing to lose. I want people to know what harm had been done, and all of this in the name of science. Anna N. described the place as a science research centre where scientists allegedly conducted inhumane experiments on prisoners. There was a special chamber. They had never allowed us to even get close. It was guarded by soldiers, although I did see that people were taken there. Not many came back. I kept in touch with one of them. I asked what they had been doing there and why so few came back out there alive. He looked at me, terrified. He said, Anna, have you ever seen nothingness, a deep emptiness with no end? I was there. I stood above the collapsed valley of the universe. On the border between reality and unreality, there's an abyss there. A gigantic well with no bottom. A dark cave of hell, and I felt it. It was drilling in my head, like a ticking clock. It looked at me from below. It was sneaking up on me and slowly started entering me. The darkness. Sometime later, the same prisoner gave me a letter to pass on, in which he begged for help. I was supposed to give it to the press and expose the whole thing, but the letter disappeared. Up until now, I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, they probably would cover the whole thing, or cover up the whole thing. We asked the supervisors of the prison unit, to which Anna N. was subject to, for a comment. Vladimir Kronsky, the unit's commander, strongly denied such events took place. He also informed us that in a short message that Anna N. was a guard but never worked in the mentioned above centre because an object that simply does not exist. He sent Anna N.'s employee record as a proof that in the years 1940 to 1950 she worked in Suchanovka prison, also known as Special Object Number 110. She had been let go from this facility due to mental illness. A copy of her health record and medical certificate were attached. So, does that mean we're going to bump into her? So again, if I click the right mouse button, you can see you can track your progress. So we can go forward a little bit, head to the right, and go back to go back there. But I think we'll be taking a left. So you do kind of have to be careful because, see, that's pretty cool. I think we can get up there. I don't know what that is. I don't think we can. It looks like there's a path. Maybe not. Right, let's go across the wood bridge, the tree. So like I say, I have died a few times, and I've seen a couple, but not fallen in some holes and stuff, like with like spikes in them and things. Oh, it's a radio tower. Maybe Dear Esther's set up there. Okay. So you get these things as well. So 54 north, 57 east, 54 north, 57 east. There is a note. So that's basically telling us where to find some notes. We've already found that one, which has happened quite a lot. There's a few where I've kind of some of these in the bottom corner. I think it was this one and this one. I found clues for, so I made a point of trying to, you know, when I knew I was in this area, I managed to find them. So I think might be what these are, because I've chalked off a few things, but I haven't found that. So maybe these are just notes that the character had, and once I've cleared off all those things, the game ends. Maybe. So yeah. So I may lose something from this because like I say, I've not got the sound on. I've got earphones on as well. But when I was in the sort of darker area, sound was hugely important. So if there's a note near you, you can hear it. You can hear the rustle of paper. Okay, so saving. Press E. We brought up a map. So I've got this. So assuming we're here, so we've come this way. So there's a basically there's a, if I drop the map down, there's a route up there. So I'm wondering if, and this is where the map would be, you know, I can understand if people don't like the map because of this, but I think maybe that route just takes us up there. And we're going to have to go this way. And we can go back this way and explore here to see. There must be something on this route, you'd have thought. Or we can go all down here, and eventually we get to that radio tower, which might be this thing, 66. No, yeah, could be, yeah, 66. And 72 is something we haven't seen yet. Wait, 66, 72 is that? I've seen that. Oh yeah, it's got a line through it. Okay. So yeah, like I say, you can see how the map works, but you can also see how that might be a problem. But I think it's a relatively interesting thing. So there are certain points where you find things and it looks like you should be able to find something or see something, and you just kind of can't. There's nothing up there, and it looks like a perfect place to hide something. Which I don't really mind, because I always think routes that don't really lead anywhere, there are places like that in real life. If you don't have those things, I don't know if I reviewed Brothers, maybe I did, but it was one of the issues I had with Brothers was that I didn't realise sometimes that I was solving a puzzle, or that there was a puzzle there. I just kind of did the thing that was in front of me, and like, oh right, okay, I didn't realise that I was stuck, or would have been stuck. You know, it's just the puzzle was right in front of me. So we're at that radio tower. Okay, so this very good chance I'll get killed by something around here. You can see the wind is properly picking up. So, at some point, I think we're going in that mine, whatever it is. So, like I say, I don't really want to play too much longer, so I don't really want to spoil anything, but at the same time, it looks like something's about to happen. It might take me ages to get to the point where something happens, though. But, yeah, so first time I got killed, basically more often than not when I've died in this game, is because I've been looking at something. I don't mean like reading a note, I mean something fell on me and I was looking at it and I go, oh, that's pretty. And it just, Just got crushed to death. And it's the same where you just saw that ghost figure, or maybe you didn't, but there was a ghost figure there. Alright, cool that it's there and everything, but because I'd seen that ghost figure and it hadn't really done me any harm, I didn't move when I saw another one. It's like, alright, yeah, ghost figure, well, you know, I'll see what it does, where it goes, where it leads me, because the ghost figure I'd been encountering had led me to places. Whereas, yeah, this other one was not so helpful, was a bit more concerned with killing me. That's pretty good, isn't it? So yeah, I kind of want to explore out here, but let's push on, shall we? So I feel like I've probably walked past like 2 notes or something like that, 2 things that I'm supposed to see. Just like I say, I can't really hear anything. So, no, can't get through there. Okay, so we got another one of these. So 55 north, 40 east. So this one 55 north. I forget what it was. Something east. Let's put that down. 40. So 55. 40. Okay, so something we missed. Unless it's here. I mean, are we here? Or is this where we are? So there's something around there. This is where, you know, being able to mark a map would be quite useful. I don't think. No. See, it's not on there. On that list of things, list of places we could go. Oh, there we go, that's where it is. I can see it. But how do we get through? Nope. So I think we might be able to walk on top of something. That might be how we get through there, because there was something up here. I think this. So this will tell us where we are, which is, like I say, again, I don't know if this is being read, so I can't really hear it, but Dr. Grigor Atauwicz testimony on anomaly OH91. We have never seen such a thing. The activity was off the scale, energy readings, it's just beyond any reason. I remember Dr. Peatnick, he said he had heard singing, he saw angels appearing from the light. It was clear to us that it was dangerous to stay too close to the anomaly for too long, but we had to conduct more tests, therefore we decided to use prisoners. This is why we created Section 22. So let's have a look, shall we, to see where we are. So yeah, we're here, and I think I said that thing was here. So we're pretty close to that, but it's a way to find notes and things. I am going to go in here in a second. That was me moving a cup then, by the way. But you see, it does mix up environments. It does give you, like I say, that it completely shifted in tone for me, where it went dark and now we're in this. place, which not at all spooky. But so you limited in how you can interact or what you can interact with. Oh shit. So it was me that turned around and looked then, not not the game doing it for me. There's a note over there. So we'll just have a quick look around before I read this note. I'm going to end it around about here because I think that's not a bad little place to stop. And also you can see I'm getting lots of notifications and stuff. Okay, so let's see what this says.
The human being's mind is a curious toy, consumed by pain and madness. It resists, but defends itself from what can set it free. The path to understanding leads through contradiction. We deny one simple fact, the fact that humans are the real monsters. And as such, we should treat each other. Although I had been deluding myself otherwise for so many years, I have finally figured out my true nature. Remember that in the darkness, you are never alone. There is always someone.
So I can't see a way out of here. I just heard a door creak. So presumably it was this. So maybe it was one of these doors that we passed. This one? Nope. I wonder what it looks like on the map. So we found, there we go, we found this.
Time does not heal wounds, as I've recently learned. This truth was pounded into me by pain, cruelty, and lies. I learned from this. I remembered. It nearly touched the essence of my understanding, becoming the revelation of truth, when they dragged me down the corridor with my shattered bones. When they operated on me to observe the misplacement of my organs, when they put the worst nightmares into my head, when they closed me up, put me together again and revived me over and over to test the limits of my endurance. And when finally, after so many years, they told me my wife was dead. Time does not heal wounds.
Crikey. I think that guy sounds a little like Sean Bean. Right, so I'd like to say I think I'm going to call the video here. I need to just play a bit more until we get to a point where this always disappoints me in games. I watched a friend of mine play the new Killzone. You could tell it wasn't it was slightly rushed for PlayStation 4's launch, because there was a bit where it was raining outside and he was under shelter and it was raining through the roof, and that's exactly the sort of thing that a Killzone game would get right. So yeah, like I say, same with this bit. I always think it's a bit disappointing, but I imagine there's a reason it gets missed. I imagine it's really difficult to do. But so I'm going to head this way. So it's a really nice looking game. It's not over there. Oh, it's a tree. So yeah, so that's whatever this game is called, Kholat. Kholat. I don't know for sure. Just because we've recorded this video doesn't mean it's necessarily going to get onto our list of like indie games you've missed, or you may not have missed. But I am trying to just pick some stuff that it's either supposed to be good or I think looked interesting. I never quite got around to it. So we looked at Lisa, which is a very, very difficult RPG, which actually came out last year, right at the end of last year. So I don't know for sure if we can include that. I think we probably will. Yeah, and I don't know what else. Undertale, which has had plenty of coverage, and we'll have a look, maybe a couple of other things, pick them up during the Steam sale and things. But yeah, this it certainly seems to be telling an interesting story. I'm presuming this guy who looks like he's had all his skin peeled off, so he's just muscle, or David Moyes, is the guy that we just heard talking about having, been used, pushed past his limits, pushed to his limits, and then put back together again. I take it it's him, and he's angry and lashing out and chasing us. I don't know why, but maybe we'll find out. So there's these key points on the map. So this one, this one, this one, this one so far, presumably others, and then maybe this is the last bit. Don't know how we get to this bit. And obviously we've got all this bit that I came through. I came here, and then took a... See, it makes sense now, but at the time I could have gone this way. So maybe I did come this way, and the point where I could have gone into the woods, I went, nah, I think that's downhill, and came this way. So yeah. So I've got quite a lot left to explore if I want to finish this, which I may or may not do. But yeah, it's an interesting looking game, certainly very pretty. So if you've got a decent PC, give it a look. I think it'd be a good thing to come out on the consoles. How well it would sell, I don't know, but I feel like there should be a. I think there's a note round here. Should be something, it feels like. So it's getting very dark. So sometimes you can hear the rustle of paper and stuff. I can't at the minute, but it seems a safe place to stop. Let's just stay here. Probably won't get killed here. I mean, we'll die of exposure. But yeah, like I say, thanks for watching. Come visit us at bitparade.co.uk. The indie article will go up in January at some point. We always like to give ourselves a little bit of time rather than rush stuff out when everyone else is doing these lists. Just so that we can play a few things, and because there's no worse feeling than missing a game that you not being able to give credit to something you really enjoyed. But yeah, to cut down on that, it's a good time. We're off work and you've got a bit of time and stuff to try and get some stuff played. Okay, well we've explored there, and I feel like there should be something there, but I've not seen it. So yeah, like I say, thanks for watching. Come visit us at bitparade.co.uk. I'm gonna struggle on until I trigger a save point, and yeah, thanks.